Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Savita from Maharaja Agrasen University, Baddi, Himachal Pradesh. Today we are going to talk on module Monopolistic Competition under the paper Managerial Economics. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the monopolistic competition and its features, the demand and cost curves under it, know the equilibrium of firm or price and output determination under monopolistic competition, and know the concept of excess capacity. Understand the concept of selling cost and equilibrium of firm with selling cost. Know about product differentiation and equilibrium with it, and learn group equilibrium under monopolistic competition. The classical theory of price determination mainly includes pure competition and pure monopoly, that is, no competition, up to 1920. Later, it was found that pure competition was not realistic as it was based on many unrealistic assumptions like homogeneous product. It was also not able to explain the realistic fact like price determination under selling cost and product discrimination. Professor E.H. Chamberlain, in his book The Theory of Monopolistic Competition, and John Robinson, in his work The Economics of Imperfect Competition, in 1933, independently explains the model of monopolistic competition models. Though their work are different from each other, but they arrive at the same conclusion or solution of the market and firm equilibrium. John Robinson got the idea of falling demand curve from Sarafa's article, The Law of Returns Under Competitive Condition. In between pure competition and pure monopoly, there is imperfect competition. In pure competition, an individual seller competes with the perfect substitutes of his own product, while in pure monopoly, a single seller doesn't face any competition from any substitute product. There are three important forms of imperfect competitions. These are monopolistic competition, where large number of sellers. Second one is duopoly, only two sellers. And the third one is oligopoly, there are few sellers. Monopolistic competition is a market structure in which there are large number of sellers of a commodity selling a heterogeneous or differentiated product which are close to substitutes. We can see many examples from real world like toothpaste, soaps and cold drinks, etc. According to Leftwich, monopolistic competition is a market situation in which there are many sellers of the particular product, but the product of each seller is in some way differentiated in the minds of consumers from the product of every other seller. According to J.S. Baines, monopolistic competition is market structure where there are a large number of small sellers selling differentiated products but close substitute products. Assumptions or features of monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition is mediate situation of pure competition and pure monopoly. Its main assumptions are as follows: a large number of firms and buyers. The first and important feature of monopolistic competition is that in it there are large number of small firms or sellers and buyers also. Each firm covers a small portion of market demand. As these firms sell differentiated products which are close substitutes, so competition is very tough. Heterogeneous products, as there are large number of small firms which are producing not same but similar products. These products are close substitutes of each other. Due to this reason, their prices cannot be much different from each other. Partial control over price. Under monopolistic competition, a firm faces the downward demand curve, which implies if a firm increases price, some customers will leave it, or if it reduces the price, some new customers will buy the product. So, a firm has partial control over price under this competition. Freedom of entry and exit. Chamberlain has used the term group instead of industry for firms producing close substitute goods. Under monopolistic competition, competitive firms are free to join or leave the group at any time. There is no restriction on these firms. Known price competition. Known price competition is that competition in which firms take measure to increase their supply other than reducing the price. Firms spend lot of amount on advertisement, promotion offer, provide free services, etc. to increase the sale of the product. Selling cost. This is the cost which a firm incurred to increase the sale of a product. It is wider than advertisement cost. It also increases the cost of sales. In monopolistic competition, each firm spend a lot of amount on selling as there is close substitutes available in the market. Imperfect knowledge, as there are differentiated products in the market which are close substitutes, sellers as well as buyers do not have full knowledge about the price and quality of the all products available in the market. Now, we discuss the demand and cost curves under monopolistic competition. To know the price and output determination under monopolistic competition, we must have an idea about the demand and cost curve under it. Demand curve. As stated earlier, that under monopolistic competition, a firm has partial control over prices of its product. By reducing its price, it can increase the demand, and by increasing the price, it can reduce the demand. It is clear that demand curve is downward sloping under monopolistic competition as it is shown in the figure. At OP price, quantity demanded is OQ. As price rises to OP1, quantity demanded reduces to OQ1. As price falls to OP2, quantity demanded rises to OQ2. demand curve facing a firm will be its AR curve. It also will negatively sloping and corresponding to it MR will be below to it. Cost curves. Under monopolistic competition, cost curves are as traditional theory of cost, AC, MC, ABC, LAC, LMC and all U-shaped. Price and output determination in monopolistic competition or equilibrium under monopolistic competition. Equilibrium under monopolistic competition involves equilibrium of firm and equilibrium of group. Equilibrium of an individual firm under monopolistic competition involves equilibrium in three respects: equilibrium regarding price and output, equilibrium under product differentiation, equilibrium with selling cost. Equilibrium regarding price and output. Under monopolistic competition, AR is downward sloping, indicating a firm can sell more by reducing output, and MR is below it. A firm will be in equilibrium position when the two conditions are satisfied, that is, marginal revenue equal to its marginal cost, MR is equal to MC. Marginal cost must cut MR from its below. As we have seen, figure 2 shows the conditions of equilibrium. Both conditions are fulfilled at point E. So, a profit maximizing firm under monopolistic competition will produce OQ quantity of output and charge AQ price. We can discuss the equilibrium of a firm in short run as well as long run. Short run is the time period in which there are fixed as well as variable factors of production. Monopolistic firm can increase its output by increasing variable factor only up to the existing production capacity. Short run time period is too short that no new firm can enter and no existing firm can leave the market. So, a firm can face three situations in short run. These situations are supernormal profit, normal profit, and minimum losses. In supernormal profit, AR is greater than AC. In normal profit, AR is equal to AC, and in case of minimum losses, AC is greater than AR or ABC is greater than AR. Supernormal profit. A firm may get supernormal profit in short period of a time. Supernormal profit is a situation when average revenue, that is AR, is greater than average cost, that is AC, at the equilibrium output. So AR is greater than AC. Figure 3 shows the supernormal profit. Equilibrium is at point E. Firm will produce OQ level of output and OP price will be charged. Here, average cost is BQ and average revenue is AQ. Per unit supernormal profit is AB. Total supernormal profit are PA, BP1. Normal profit. A firm may earn normal profit under monopolistic competition. It is the situation when average revenue is equal to average cost at the equilibrium level of output. So, AR is equal to AC. Figure 4 shows the normal profit. Firm's equilibrium is at point E. Firm is producing OQ level of output and charging OP level of price. Here, average revenue and average cost are equal, that is AQ. So, firm is getting normal profit. Minimum losses. A firm may incur minimum losses in short run. It is a situation when average cost is greater than average revenue, but a firm covers its average variable cost. AC is greater than AR, AVC is greater than AR. Figure 5 shows the minimum losses. Equilibrium of firm is at point E. Firm is producing OQ level of output and OP1 price will be charged. Here, average cost is AQ and average revenue is BQ. Average cost is greater than the average revenue. Firm is incurring losses, that is PP1BA. But here firm is covering average variable cost, that is BQ. So, these losses are minimum losses. Long run equilibrium of firm. Long run is the time period when all the factors of production are variable. The firm can change the size of the plant and machinery. New firms can enter into the market or existing can leave the market. A firm will produce that level of output where long run marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue curve. A firm will earn normal profit in long run under monopolistic competition because if there is supernormal profit, new firms will enter into the group, so it will increase the supply into the market and price will fall. Again, there will be normal profit. In a long run, to increase the demand, a firm will reduce the price of the product. Following it, other firms will also reduces the price, resulting normal profit to all the firms in the group. If there are losses to the firm in the short run, it will try to recover it in long run, but still it incur losses in the long run, it will exit the group. So, in monopolistic competition, each firm earns normal profit in the long run, that is AR is equal to LAC. Figure 6 is depicting long run equilibrium of firm. Here, equilibrium is at point E. Firm is producing OQ level of output and will charge OP price. Here, firm is getting normal profit as average revenue is equal to average cost, that is AQ. If there is supernormal profit, new firms will enter into the market, or if firms are incurring losses, then they will leave the group. So, in long run, each firm will get normal profit. Excess capacity. It is the situation when a firm is not producing at the socially optimum level of output. The excess capacity is possible only in long run. Professor Chamberlain and John Robinson both have revealed that under monopolistic competition, a firm producing at the downward portion of long run average cost curve, not at the minimum point of it, which is socially optimum level of output. There are mainly three reasons of existence of excess capacity. That is, a downward sloping demand curve is the main reason, as downward sloping average revenue curve can be tangent to U-shaped long run average cost only at the falling portion. Entry of a very large number of firms, due to which these firms share market demand curve, so that each firm produces a smaller output than optimum capacity. Excess capacity is beneficial in some respect because it increases consumers' welfare by providing variety in products. Figure 7 shows the long run equilibrium and excess capacity of firm under monopolistic competition. Here, firm is in equilibrium at point E. Firm is producing OQ level of output and charging OP level of price. Socially optimum point of production is point E1 on long run average cost curve, which is minimum point of average cost. A firm should produce up to this point, but under monopolistic competition, it is producing less than this point, which is known as excess capacity. OQ1 is excess capacity which a firm is not producing. Selling cost. To increase the sale of the product or to increase the profits, a firm may indulge in two type of competition. Price competition, it involves reducing price to increased sale, and non-price competition, it involves increase the sale by other than price cutting. It includes changing the quality of the product, advertisement, providing free services with the product and free gift with product. Selling cost is one of the parts of non-price competition. This is different from advertisement expenditure. Advertisement expenditure includes cost incurred only on getting the product advertised in newspaper and magazines, etc. Selling cost includes the salaries and wages of salesmen, allowance to retailers for displaying their product, and other promotional activities. Average selling cost curve. It is believed that selling cost is subject to varying returns. In beginning, increasing returns to selling cost implying more return than expenditure incurred. After a point, diminishing returns implying less return that selling cost incurred. So, average selling cost is U-shaped as it is shown in the figure number 8. Effect of selling cost on demand. The sole objective of selling cost is to increase demand. An unique increment in advertisement expenditure brings first increasing returns, then diminishing returns. It means and selling cost is incurred in equal amount initially, the demand increases more and later increases less. As it is shown in figure 9, initially in selling cost is incurred demand increases DD2, D1, D1, then D2, D2 with increasing returns, and then D3, D3 which indicated diminishing returns. Effect of selling cost on cost. Due to selling cost, average production cost curve shifts upward, which is shown in the figure number 10. It shows if selling cost is incurred on proportional basis, the average production cost curve CC increases upward in the same ratio, that is C1 C1. Average cost is equal to average production cost plus average selling cost. Equilibrium of firm with selling cost. Equilibrium of firm with selling cost has been shown in figure number 11. AR and MR are initial average and marginal revenue curves. APC and MC are initial average production cost and marginal cost curves. Initial equilibrium is at point E. Firm is producing OQ level of output and charging OP price. Here, firm is getting normal profits. To increase profit, firm incur selling cost. Due to it, demand curve shift upward, so new average and marginal revenue curve are AR1 and MR1. Cost curves also shift upward. Now AC and MC1 are average and marginal cost curves. New equilibrium is at point E1. Firm will produce OQ1 level of output and charge OP1 price. Now, firm is getting supernormal profit, that is P1, P2, CB. A firm will incur that level of selling cost which maximize its profit. Equilibrium with product differentiation. Sarafas introduces the downward sloping demand curve as well as the concept of product differentiation, but Chamberlain explains the concept of product differentiation on the basis of price and output determination. Product differentiation means that goods are close substitutes. They can be different in color, packing, size, quality, and packing, etc. There are many examples in real words like toothpaste, soaps, and cold drinks, etc. Here, we have used Professor Chamberlain's approach to show how a firm will take decision regarding production. We assume price of the product to be constant. There is only one variety which gives the highest profit to the firm. Here, we have taken three varieties A, B, and C of goods. Average costs of these are AA, BB, and CC respectively. Firm is charging OP price for these three varieties. For A variety, firm is selling OQ level of output and getting PD, D1, D2 supernormal profit. For B variety, firm is selling OQ1 level of output and getting PS, S1, S2 supernormal profit. For C variety, firm is producing OQ2 level of output and getting PE, E1, E2 supernormal profit. As variety C is giving highest profit, so firm will produce more quantity of C variety. Group equilibrium under monopolistic competition. Professor Chamberlain used the term group for the firm producing close substitutes goods under monopolistic competition. For example, there is group of different firms producing cold drinks like Coca-Cola, Mirinda and Pepsi, etc. Group equilibrium refers to the adjustment of price and output of a number of producers whose goods are close substitutes. To discuss group equilibrium, we consider two assumptions. Uniformity assumption, according to which demand and supply curve of firms under group are same, and the second one, symmetry assumption. This is large number of firms so that no individual firm can influence the decision regarding the price and output of other firms. Figure 13 explains the group equilibrium. DD as initially demand curve for the group and CC is cost curve. Initial equilibrium is at point A. Here all the firms in group are getting supernormal profits, that is PP1A, as all firms in the group are getting supernormal profit. New firms will enter into the group and demand curve will fall down to D1, D1. Now equilibrium will be at point E. Here all firms will get normal profit. So in groups, all firms will get normal profit. So students, let's summarize what we have learned in this module. Monopolistic competition is a market situation in which there are large number of buyers and sellers selling heterogeneous products, means different products. These products are close substitutes. Average and marginal revenue are downward sloping and more elastic. Cost curves follow traditional theory. Firm's equilibrium is at point where marginal revenue and marginal cost is equal and marginal cost curve cut marginal revenue from its below. In short run, a firm may get supernormal profit, normal profit or minimum losses. In long run, each firm gets normal profit. If there are supernormal profit, new firms will join the group and price will fall. If there are losses in long run, firms will leave the group. In long run, under monopolistic competition, each firm produce less than social optimum level of output, which is known as excess capacity. A firm can also differentiate its product to increase its profit. Thank you.